English Quiz Podcast.
From English Learning Level 3. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Quiz Podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. I have my coffee ready, although I accidentally made 2 cups this morning because I completely forgot I already made one.
That sounds like a perfect story for today's lesson, because we're talking about things that already happened.
Exactly. Today, we're learning one of the most useful grammar topics in English, the past simple tense.
By the end of today's episode, you'll feel much more confident talking about yesterday, last week, last month, or even your last vacation.
We have 10 fun quiz questions, lots of real conversations, memory tricks, and everyday examples.
Remember, don't worry if you make mistakes. Every question is another chance to learn.
Before we reveal each answer, pause the episode if you need more time. Say your answer out loud.
Ready?
Let's begin.
Question 1. Yesterday, I to the supermarket. A. Go. B. Goes. C. Went. D. Going.
Take a few seconds. Which answer sounds right?
The correct answer is C. Went. Went is the past simple form of the verb go. We use it for actions that happened and finished in the past. Example. Yesterday, I went to the supermarket. Compare these. I go to work every day. That's present. I went to work yesterday. That's past.
Wait, English changes go into went? That's not even close.
You're right. It's called an irregular verb. Unfortunately, some verbs don't follow the normal ED rule.
So I can't say goed?
That's one of the most common mistakes English learners make.
I actually heard a little child say goed once.
Children learning English often say that too. It sounds logical, but native speakers say went.
Let me try. Yesterday, I went to a coffee shop.
Perfect. What did you buy?
2 coffees, because apparently one wasn't enough.
I think your coffee habit will become today's running joke.
Fair enough.
Here's a memory tip. Whenever you think of yesterday, train your brain to remember go, went. Practice it several times today.
Now it's your turn. Tell us in the comments, where did you go yesterday?
Question 2. She blank dinner last night. A. Cook. B. Cooked. C. Cooks. D. Cooking. Think carefully before answering.
The answer is
B. Cooked. Cooked is a regular verb. Most regular verbs simply add ed to show the past. Cook, cooked. Example. She cooked dinner last night. Compare. She cooks every evening. That's a habit. She cooked yesterday. That's a completed action.
So some verbs become went, but others just add ed.
Exactly. There are 2 big families. Regular verbs, irregular verbs.
I think regular verbs are much friendlier.
Most learners agree with you.
Let me make another sentence. My brother cooked breakfast.
Excellent. Now add a time expression.
My brother cooked breakfast yesterday morning.
That's a perfect past simple sentence.
I notice almost every past sentence tells us when something happened.
Great observation. Words like yesterday, last night, last week, 2 days ago, this morning help listeners know you're talking about the past.
So if I say, I cooked coffee?
You made coffee. Unless you're inventing a brand new recipe.
I'll stick with making coffee instead.
Memory tip. When you see words like yesterday or last night, your brain should immediately ask, do I need the past simple? Most of the time, The answer is yes.
Before we continue, write one sentence using cooked in the comments. We'd love to read your examples.
Question 3. A movie last weekend. A. Watch. B. Watched. C. Watches. D. Watching.
Think about the time expression, last weekend. Which answer fits?
The correct answer is B. Watched. Watched is the past simple form of the regular verb watch. Watch? Watched. We use it because the action happened in the past and is finished. Example: we watched a movie last weekend. Compare these. We watch movies every Friday. That's a routine. We watched a movie last weekend. That's a completed past action.
I notice many regular verbs just add ed.
That's right. Once you recognize time words like yesterday, last week, or last weekend, adding ed often becomes much easier.
Last weekend, I watched an adventure movie. It was really exciting.
Great sentence. You use the past tense perfectly.
What if I watched 2 movies?
Then you simply say, I watched 2 movies. The verb doesn't change because of the number of movies.
That's easier than making 2 cups of coffee by accident.
We're definitely not letting you forget that story today.
Fair enough. At least everyone will remember watched now.
Here's a memory tip. When you hear last weekend, imagine a photo album. Everything inside already happened, so use the past simple.
Now tell us, what movie did you watch recently? Write your answer in the comments.
Question 4. They home late. A. Arrive. B. Arrived. C. Arrives. D. Arriving. Take your time. Which answer sounds natural? The correct answer is B. Arrived. Arrived is the past simple form of the regular verb arrive. Arrive turns to arrived. Example: they arrived home late. Compare: they arrive early every day. That's a habit. They arrived late yesterday. That's a completed action.
I hear people say arrive at, and sometimes just arrive. Why?
Excellent question. We usually say arrive at a place, like arrive at the station. But with home, we simply say arrive home. No preposition is needed.
So it's they arrived home, not they arrived to home.
Exactly. That's a very useful everyday expression.
Let me try another one. My parents arrived home after work.
Perfect. That's exactly how native speakers say it.
Yesterday, my friend arrived late because of traffic.
Another excellent example. Notice how yesterday clearly tells us we're talking about the past.
If I arrive late for our podcast, you'll probably finish all the coffee before I get here.
Maybe, but I'll save you at least 1 cup.
Deal.
Here's today's memory tip. Many past simple sentences include a time word like yesterday, last night, last weekend, this morning, 2 days ago. When you hear these expressions, your brain should immediately think past simple.
Question 5. His friend yesterday. A. Call. B. Called. C. Calls. D. Calling.
Remember to look for the time expression before choosing your answer.
The correct answer is B. Called.
Called is the past simple form of the regular verb call. Call, called. We add ed because the action happened in the past and is finished. Example: he called his friend yesterday. Compare these. He calls his friend every Sunday. That's a habit. He called his friend yesterday. That's one completed action.
So even if the phone call lasted an hour, it's still one completed action?
Exactly. The length of the action doesn't matter. If it's finished, the past simple works perfectly.
Yesterday, I called my sister after work.
Excellent sentence. It's natural and easy to understand.
What if she didn't answer?
You can still say, I called my sister, but she didn't answer. Notice that only called changes here because it's the main action.
Luckily, she answered. Otherwise, she would probably ask why I didn't make a second coffee for her.
Your coffee story keeps growing.
At least everyone will remember the verb called now.
Here's a memory tip. Imagine your phone showing yesterday at the top of the call history. Yesterday equals past simple.
Tell us in the comments, who did you call recently?
Question 6. My parents blank breakfast early. A. Eat. B. Eats. C. Ate. D. Eating.
This one uses an irregular verb. Think carefully.
The answer is
C. Ate. Ate is the past simple form of the irregular verb eat. Eat, ate. This is another verb you'll hear every day in English conversations. Example: my parents ate breakfast early yesterday. Compare these. My parents eat breakfast at 7 every day. That's a routine. My parents ate breakfast early yesterday. That's a finished action.
Another irregular verb? First it was go, went. Now it's eat, ate.
Exactly. Irregular verbs don't follow the ed rule, so they're worth practicing often.
Let me try one. I ate lunch with my friends yesterday.
Perfect. That's a sentence you'll use in real life.
Can I also say, we ate dinner together last night?
Absolutely. That's another excellent example.
Talking about food is making me hungry.
Hopefully not hungry enough to drink another cup of coffee instead of eating.
I promise I'll actually eat something this time.
Here's another helpful trick. Many irregular verbs are very common because they describe everyday life. Go, went. Eat, ate. See, saw. Have, had. Learn these first, and you'll understand many daily conversations.
Here's your memory tip. Imagine telling a friend about yesterday. You'll probably say things like, I went, I ate, I saw, I had. Those are some of the most useful past simple verbs you'll ever learn.
Question 7. I blank my homework after school. A. Do. B. Did. C. Does. D. Doing.
Think about the action. It happened after school and is already finished.
The correct answer is B. Did. Did is the past simple form of the irregular verb do. Do. Did. We use did because the homework was completed in the past. Example: I did my homework after school. Compare these. I do my homework every evening. That's a habit. I did my homework after school. That's a completed action.
Another irregular verb. English really likes to surprise us.
It does, but notice something interesting. The most common verbs are often irregular.
That means learning them first gives us the biggest reward.
Exactly. Once you know verbs like went, ate, and did, you'll understand many everyday conversations.
Let me practice. Yesterday, I did my homework before dinner.
Excellent. That sounds completely natural.
When I was a student, I sometimes did my homework very late.
That's another great example. Notice how adding details makes your story more interesting.
I wish homework disappeared as quickly as my coffee.
If only grammar worked like magic.
Then everyone would get 100%.
Here's a memory tip. Think of a checklist at the end of the day. Homework, did. Shopping, did. Exercise, did. Finished actions often use the past simple.
Tell us one thing you did yesterday using the verb did.
Question 8. We, our teacher this morning. A, see. B, saw. C, seen. D, seeing.
Listen carefully. Which verb matches the past simple?
The answer is B, saw. Saw is the past simple form of the irregular verb see. See, saw. We use it because the meeting happened earlier today and is finished. Example. We saw our teacher this morning. Compare these. We see our teacher every Monday. That's a regular routine. We saw our teacher this morning. That's one completed event.
I noticed that many irregular verbs completely change their spelling.
That's true. They don't follow one simple rule, which is why practice is so important.
Let me try another sentence. I saw my neighbor at the supermarket yesterday.
Perfect. That's exactly the kind of sentence you'll use in everyday life.
Earlier, we talked about going to the supermarket. Now we're seeing people there.
That's a great callback. Our little supermarket story is growing.
First, I went to the supermarket. Then I saw my neighbor. And after that, I probably bought coffee.
Of course you did. I was waiting for the coffee to appear again.
Some habits never change.
Here's another useful comparison. Present. I see my friends every weekend. Past. I saw my friends last weekend. Changing the verb tells your listener exactly when the action happened.
Memory tip? Picture yesterday like a photo album. Each picture reminds you of something you went, ate, did, or saw. Those pictures are finished moments, so they belong in the past simple.
Outstanding work. You've now completed 8 of today's 10 questions.
Only 2 questions remain.
Question 9. She blank a new dress last week. A, buy. B, bought. C, buys. D, buying.
Look carefully at the time expression. Last week.
The correct answer is B, bought. Bought is the past simple form of the irregular verb buy. Buy, bought. We use it because the shopping happened in the past and is finished. Example. She bought a new dress last week. Compare these. She buys clothes every month. She bought a new dress last week. The first sentence describes a habit. The second sentence describes one completed action.
Buy becomes bought? I definitely couldn't guess that one.
That's why irregular verbs need a little extra practice. The good news is, you'll hear them every day.
Yesterday, I bought fresh fruit at the market.
Excellent. That's a perfect everyday sentence.
Earlier, I went to the supermarket. Now I bought fruit there. Our story's almost complete.
Exactly. You're connecting today's examples together, and that's a wonderful way to remember vocabulary.
Maybe next time I'll remember to buy coffee before I make it.
Now that's planning ahead.
I'm learning grammar and life skills at the same time.
Here's your memory tip. Think of shopping receipts. Everything on yesterday's receipt is in the past, so you bought it.
Tell us in the comments, what's the last thing you bought?
Here's our final question. They blank happy after the game. A, are, B, was, C, were, D, be.
This question uses the verb to be. Which past form matches they?
The answer is C, were. The verb to be has two past forms. Was, for I, he, she, it. Were, for you, we, they. Example. They were happy after the game. Compare. They are happy today. They were happy yesterday. The time changes, so the verb changes too.
So I should say, we were excited, but my brother was excited.
Exactly right. Matching the subject with was or were is very important.
Let me try a few. We were late. They were tired. My teacher was busy.
Perfect. Every sentence is correct.
I was worried at the beginning of this episode.
And now?
Now I was... Actually, now I am confident.
Great correction. You're talking about the present now, so am is the right choice.
See? The quiz really works.
Here's your final memory tip. When telling stories about yesterday, ask yourself two questions. Did the action already finish? When did it happen? If the answer is yes and it's in the past simple tense is usually the correct choice. Congratulations! You've completed all 10 questions.
Let's quickly review today's key verbs. Go, went. Cook, cooked. Watch, watched. Arrive, arrived. Call, called. Eat, ate. Do, did. See, saw. Buy, bought. Be, was, were.
Today you learned that the past simple tense helps us talk about actions that started and finished in the past.
You also practiced both regular verbs, which usually add ed, and irregular verbs, which have special past forms.
Remember, fluency doesn't come from memorizing rules. It comes from hearing, speaking, reading, and using English every day.
Try this challenge after today's episode. Tell someone about your day yesterday using at least 5 past simple verbs.
We'd love to hear how many questions you answered correctly. Share your score in the comments.
Thanks for spending time with us today.
Keep learning, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode of the English Quiz Podcast.
Bye, everyone.